Hi, I'm Travis Metner, and I'm the service director here at Builtrite Manufacturing. Today we are going to be doing a walk around of the stationary electric power unit. And normally these power units are shrouded with a protective shroud, and we have left these panels off so we can see the internal components today. We will start at the power panel so you can see the internal components of the panel itself. We have the motor starter and overload protection for the main motor. Right below that, we have the amp sensor that outputs a signal to the MD4 readout inside the cab, which is a touchscreen display. You'll be able to see your amp drop as the motor works. We move up to the top of the panel. You have your circuit breakers for each individual circuit within the unit itself. Next to that, we have the 12-volt converter, which strictly supplies 12-volt power to the XA2 communication device. Right next to the 12-volt converter, we have a relay bank for the individual circuits in the unit. Then moving down to the next section, we have the motor protection and motor starter for the cooler and the AC motor, along with contactors for the low oil and the tank heater itself. Right next to that, we have a phase monitor, which is indicated with a green light when all of your phases are correct. This is good for initial startup, or if you have a power surge or storm or something at your facility. This will indicate that your phases are correct. Then down below at the very bottom, we just have a standard terminal bank, which that makes all the connections for the individual circuits, along with a surge protection for the communication line itself. Down at the very bottom, you will see twist lock receptacles for the lines that are running out to the cab themselves, for the greaser, the AC motor, and cab power. We'll move over to the inside of the unit itself. We will start up at the top with the transformer that converts the 480 to 120 volts that runs out to the cab. Then right next to that, we have the cooler and cooler motor. Right underneath the cooler, we have our main motor, which is powering a triple gear pump, and in between the gear pump and the motor, we have a bell housing with a inspection port in it that you can view the coupling between the motor and the pump. We recommend that you do a visual inspection of this port every 6 months. We'll move up to the top of the power unit itself. We have 3 return lines with return filters. And right next to the return filters, we have a pilot pressure filter as well. And on this pilot pressure filter, we have a gauge port for pressure going out to your pilot system. So that's a good spot to check in and check your pressure going out to your pilot system. We recommend that for your return filters that you do oil sampling every 1,000 hours or quarterly. That'll tell you how often you need to change your filters. If your company does not do oil sampling, we recommend that you change your filters every 1,500 hours. We'll move around to other side of the power unit. And we'll take a look at the pump. The pump itself has 3 sections to the pump. There is your first section of the pump powers the main section, sends pressure out to your main valve. The middle section sends pressure out to your jib valve. And the very end section of the pump sends pressure out to your swing valve and also supplies pressure to your pilot system. This device here is your pilot generator block. It also has a gauge port on it so you can see pressure going out to your pilot filter that we just covered. This device right next to the pump is your swing cushion block. It also has gauge ports on either side of the block for pressure monitoring. Now, right from your swing block, these lines are coming right from your swing valve to this swing cushion block. The other side of the block is your lines running to your loader. We'll move over underneath the hydraulic tank. And underneath the hydraulic tank are your individual work section valves. This 2-section valve here supplies pressure to your main. This middle single section valve supplies pressure to your swing section, and this 3-section valve supplies pressure to your jib position and grapple rotate. Each valve has a gauge port on it for pressure monitoring. If you so need to do troubleshooting, each section has a gauge port on it for individual pressures. Right above the valves is your hydraulic tank. This is a 120-gallon tank with a visual gauge, fill gauge on the side of it. Up on top is your breather valve and filter. Right next to your breather filter is your low oil sensor on the top of the tank. Then we move around to the side of the tank. This is a standard location for our disconnect box. This box, as I stated, is a standard location, or it can be positioned off the power unit itself. We will now review some of the components and features of your Builtrite cab. We will start with the dash. On the bottom side of the dash, there is a Bluetooth device known as a G12. This device allows Builtrite the ability to help with remote troubleshooting. This is done by downloading the iCan Go app to your mobile device. More information is in your Builtrite owner's manual. Next is our standard radio. Next to the radio is the horn and ignition switch. Next to the ignition switch is your MD4 control screen. Next to the MD4 is your e-stop button. And all the way to the far left is your wiper motor control with medium and high speed, your window washer button, and your cab light switch. And all the way to the far left is your manual greaser run button with LED indication being green or red. Green mean your device is good to run, or red, your auto lube has a fault and needs maintenance. Other items inside your Builtrite cab are the windshield washer fluid bottle, your cup holder, a fully adjustable seat with joystick controls. This particular seat is able to swivel to the back. That allows rear access. Speakers for the radio, AC control with fan speed and temperature control. Heater. These two items are 12-volt converter. One powers the dash and one powers strictly the heater. A defrost fan and dome light. We will now run through some of the control functions on your Builtrite loader. The ignition switch is set up just like a car, with a stop, an auxiliary, which gives you power to all the components in the dash, and a start. When the machine starts, it'll give you a green indication on your MD4 screen that the power unit is running. In case of an emergency, the e-stop button will kill all power to the machine. Once your issue is resolved, you can simply pull the e-stop switch back out and your machine will continue to run. Now we will slide the joystick lock to the unlock position, which will allow us to move the machine. We are set up in a Builtrite control pattern, and by simply touching the controls button on the bottom of the MD4 screen, it will show you what the left and right joystick will do by pulling back or pushing forward or moving side to side or buttons. We will now move the left joystick and pull back, and the main boom will raise. Now simply by pushing the left joystick down in the Builtrite control pattern, the main boom will lower. By pushing the buttons on the left joystick, we are positioning the grapple either out or in. Or swinging the machine to the right or to the left. Now, if we move our functions over to the right joystick, simply by pulling back, we are bringing the jib boom into us, or by pushing down, it moves the jib out. Now by going side to side, we will simply be opening the grapple or closing the grapple. Pushing the buttons will rotate your grapple in one direction or the other. And that is the function of your Builtrite loader. Today we are going to be talking about your master control module located in the dash of your Builtrite cab. It is commonly known as the MD4, and we will go through some of the display screen settings located on the MD4. As you can see, to your left we have an active amp reading. As your machine is operating, it'll display the amps that the main motor is using. Next to that, there is a digital clock.
And all the way to the far right is your oil temperature. Moving down into the left-hand corner is an icon that will display green when you turn your key switch on to indicate that your power unit is running. Right in the middle is a slide lock that controls or locks and unlocks your joystick functions. As you can see, we can slide it over into the unlock position and slide it back when we're done with use of the joysticks to lock the controls. Right underneath that is your machine hours. This is total hours that the machine has run. And down in the far left corner is a low oil indication that will come on and indicate if you have low oil. Right next to the slide lock indication is a one-touch control that allows you to change the speed of the machine. This is commonly used for training purposes that will slow the function of the machine. You have three options. That is full, 3/4, and half speed. We'll go down to the bottom right corner here, and we will touch the control settings on the bottom. Now this will bring up the control pattern that the machine is in, and it also gives you a visual display of your left and right joystick functions, along with what the buttons do for the left and right joystick, and joystick functions forward and backward and side to side. And as I stated, this control pattern and what control pattern the machine is in is indicated at the bottom of the screen. Down in the very far right corner is your menu button. We can hit the menu button. This screen gives us four tabs. The first tab is basic system information. We can go into this, and your system information just for the program and the machine ID is in your first icon. Your second icon is modules. These are all the modules in the ICANN system, and it also gives a status of each module, saying that it is okay. This is your MD4 setting. This is the XA2, which is located inside your power panel, your left and right joysticks, and your Bluetooth device. This last module is a log. This log records all of the things that are going on in the system. It'll give you errors. It'll tell you if there was a update to the program. It also, in this case, tells you when the system has started. The second module or icon in this screen is the measure screen. This gives you live readings of what the valves, joysticks, digital inputs and digital outputs, and voltages and part diagnostics. If you go all the way to the bottom in the all section, and we toggle the all section, it gives you a live readout of what your joysticks are doing. This is all the icons put together. So it tells you your milliamps, the amount of movement going on in your joysticks, your push buttons, whether they are being pushed or indicated true or false, meaning on or off. Also your stop button, if the ignition is on, the AC control module. Every sensor in the system is on this all screen, so you will be able to tell if things are triggering on and off. Your amp sensor, your low oil display, your cooler motor start is indicated whether it's on or off. Your AC is on. It'll also give you voltage readouts on your MD4 and XA2 to tell you what voltages that those components are seeing. We'll go to our third section. This section is, most of the icons are locked out. A passcode is given to a supervisor or site manager. There is one icon that is open that you can change your fan start temperature on your cooling fan, and this top one indicates that your high temp alert setting is 180 degrees and your fan start temperature is 100 degrees, and your auto fan timer setting will turn on every 30 minutes. This is a auto reversing function for the cooling fan. As I indicated, all of these other modules are locked out so that operators cannot go in and change settings on the machine or joystick. You even have a setting here. You can go in, and if you want a site specific password that a manager or supervisor wants to insert, we can have that put in so only they can get in and out of the machine. And our last setting is just preferences. It gives you display options for backlight or screensaver. And the last icon is a date and time setting. This is good to make sure that this date and time setting is correct, as it helps us with the log settings. If you get error logs, that we know that it's the correct date and time, it makes it a little bit more easier to troubleshoot. And that is the touchscreen display module in your Builtrite cab.